Hello, it's Beverley Cuddy here, editor of Dogs Today, podcaster, Devil Wears Dog Hair. And today I want to talk about quite a meaty subject. Now, you may have seen on social media a much shared post about a cockapoo breeder who was burgled overnight and had a lot of pregnant bitches and puppies stolen, like a sizable number. A lot of the bitches were in whelp. They were bred cockapoos, cavapoo, and snoodles. So crosses between poodles and cocker spaniels, Cavalier King Charles spaniels and poodles, and schnauzers and poodles. Now, I was alerted to this by an ex-colleague whose friend had bought one of these puppies only the day before the burglary and was deeply distressed by it. And I looked at the number of dogs and looked at the number of puppies and thought, gosh, that's a lot, isn't it? And I've also looked online as to how much these puppies generally are being sold for at the moment. So it was the equivalent of a heist. I mean, this is a huge amount of money, but these aren't things, these are dogs. And there's a police reference number, and the breeders are on social media asking people to help, and they're getting a lot of flack. People are, because we live in this weird society, don't we, where we all love dogs, but people with pedigree dogs really, on the whole, dislike people who have what they would call mongrels. So anything that's a cross that is purporting to be a doodle, whereas all the people who have doodles adore them in the majority and can't understand why all the snottiness is about. And it's like politics, it's like religion, it's one of those subjects that you bring up at your peril. Now, if this had been a breeder of, say, champion dogs, and that they had that many dogs in whelp, I actually don't think there's very many commercial kennels that are in the show pedigree world who would have that many bitches simultaneously in whelp. Because most people, I don't know, maybe most people do. I mean, what do I know? I know we couldn't handle more than 1 litre at probably a year maximum, maybe even 2 or 3 when we had bearded collies, because it really took it out of you. But I suppose some people who are in the business of breeding, and that's the thing, morally, ethically, can it be a business? Well, it obviously is. I mean, this was a licensed kennels, 5-star, limited company, pays tax. Downloaded the accounts. It doesn't look terribly profitable, but maybe they've got a lot of overheads. But then again, I'm thinking of the person who reported this to me was very knowledgeable, and that yet her friend still bought a puppy from what many people are saying. Well, it's difficult to say, isn't it? People are saying it's puppies being born on a farm. It is the address is a farm. And that many dogs were stolen in the middle of the night without alerting the breeder, which would suggest it's unlikely to be that the dogs are in the home. They must be in a building of sight. According to the things I've seen written about the theft, the thieves wiped the CCTV footage. So this again sounds premeditated. This is a very savvy crime here. This is not just someone stumbling across these puppies and these dogs that are in whelp. And sadly, one of the puppies was run over was found dead on the so either had been dropped or run over. I don't know what had happened, but so these are all little souls, aren't they? These are all little sweeties that, you know, potentially could be the love of somebody's life, and they're being treated like banknotes, really, in a robbery, and just, you know, one's been dropped, but they've got the majority. Now, a random person stealing, well, it must be quite a few people, because you couldn't pick all those dogs up on your own. And where do they go? I mean, how could suddenly that many dogs in whelp and that many puppies just evaporate? They need sellers. They need people to buy them, and they're going to go door to door, knocking on doors, saying, do you want to buy a puppy? We should be able to see online a sudden influx, because I don't know if you've gone on to these dreadful all-breed websites that are carrying the adverts. Nearly all of them are for wanted. People are desperate to get their dog, and they're posting wanted and a phone number, and so maybe that's what they've done. Maybe they've stolen, and then they're phoning all the people up who have said they want one. But we need to work it out. If we're going to legitimise, if we're going to licence breeders, we have to decide that it's morally acceptable to breed in that way. We need to have some sort of ethics and decision, because if we want a puppy, someone has to breed it, and we have to have a concept of what is acceptable. Now, from reading everything about this breeder, I mean, they're 5-star. The council thinks they're great. The person who'd bought the puppy thought they were great. They felt that both parents had been eye tested, PRA tested. But again, because they're breeding doodles, there is nobody collating and checking this health information. So again, buyers are really rather flummoxed as to how do they judge. This breeder was offering one visit at 5 weeks to view the puppies, probably with mum, but not in their real setting. And it was a very limited time slot, and only at 5 weeks, and then again at collection. So I'm surmising from that they're only brought there to be viewed, which under Lucy's law, well, is this a wrinkle or a rankle, or what is? If the dogs are kept somewhere else all the rest of the time, and then they're brought just for one viewing on a specific day, and then returned to where they're reared, is that a breach of Lucy's law? It's all a new world, isn't it? How do we move forward, and how do we get on with people who are going to make money out of breeding dogs? Are we going to be happy that they make money if they do it really well? Do they need to clean up after themselves? Do they need to have some home checking? Do they need to have some rescue backup? If something was put in place, would people who may be attracted to the idea of breeding dogs in a really positive, good way, and socialising them to the best possible ability and helping people through the process of getting a dog, well, is that ever going to be acceptable? I think for some people it won't, but it's not realistic, because it's not illegal for people to do this. Well, lots of things to think about here, but I would still urge you, take pet theft seriously. Now, the police are going to take this case seriously because there's a tangible financial loss. These dogs had a value, a commercial value. So the police are seeing it like they would someone who'd broken in and stolen the person's livelihood. If you'd had a house invasion where they'd stolen your dog, and it was just a dog, it was just a pet, the centre of your world, the law would be quite reticent at giving you a crime reference number. You'd have to really push. You would really push. And the chances of it being followed up and investigated are pretty slim. You might find a sympathetic police person who is a real dog lover, but in reality, in their crime figures, pet theft is, well, it's lobbed in with people stealing mobile phones. It's not exactly, if you've ever lost your phone, you'll know you get directed to a website and you fill in a form and that's the end of it. Or if you lose your wallet, similar. I do have an idea for how to solve all this. I won't absolutely 100% solve it, but it would make it considerably better. But I just need an awful lot of people to join in and help me do it. And I'm still trying to find out how you do that. Because there's got to be a better way to do all this, isn't there? I mean, it's just illogical the way we're going about this. We've got all these wonderful people rescuing dogs, and we've got all these other people making a load of money out of them with no consequence. I think there's got to be a way of joining all this up so that the profit is ploughed back into rescue in some way, or a percentage of it, and that there needs to be a more cohesive way of looking at the whole world of dogs for the betterment of all dogs, for the betterment of all the people who love dogs. And I've got an idea, but I need some vitamins. I need some help in pulling this one together and pulling it off, because I think we are in a unique situation of a crossroads where everybody in the world of dogs can see it's possible to make change. Now, if we all pull together, if we all say we want something, I think we might get it. Anyway, tune in for future ramblings from me, and I'm hoping that recorded. Let's see. And I hope my green screen works a bit better this time.